And we are live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Sling'N podcast. I'm not TJ.
And I'm not Kent.
In front of myself that I see on the thing with the screen. Neither of us are the people we think we are, according to what's in front of us. We have nothing in front of us. I am Kent Hauer, and this is Justin Payne. Say hi, Justin.
Hi, Justin.
Thank you, Justin. The Ramsey person is away doing ginger things, and Frank can't hack us anymore. So we've been left to our own devices, and I plan to have Justin on the show this evening on Friday, and I told Justin he was going to be on the show this evening. Well, this afternoon. But here we are. Oh, my goodness. We got a lively chat. Daniel Brady and Kevin V up in the house. Hello, fellas. Welcome to the show. So, let's see. We are going to be a couple things tonight. We have a pretty big announcement in the charity department, so look for that. We've got some discussion and conversation about rifle training and why Justin's better at it than I am now. So that'll be pretty cool. We've got some conversation about upcoming training and classes Green Mountain Defense is offering. We've got a story of a firearms training student's family member who unfortunately was victimized. So we have to discuss that. We have to discuss why you shouldn't try to shoot up malls in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, because people will fuck you up. Let's see what else. And we have to review the videos of our favorite ginger pal and his gold medal victory in his endeavors in the International Folding Clothes with People in Them Championships, otherwise known as IBBJF Tennessee thing, where he went and hurt people. So that was all pretty cool. But before we get into any of that, Justin, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
I can't complain. I won't complain. There's no need.
You might. Knowing you, you might.
All right. Well, give it time.
Poor Justin and I spent 48 hours with each other this past weekend from like Friday to Sunday.
Was that all? It felt like a lot longer.
All right. Yeah. And taught a rifle class. And during that whole expansive time, I knew I was supposed to tell him he was on the show tonight. I didn't do it, but I knew, and he was. And, unfortunately, I think maybe what we found out is that foggy, soggy, rainy weather dilutes my knowledge base.
Really?
Yeah, I get dumb in the rain.
Okay. Just in the rain?
Oh, my God.
I mean, it rains like every time we shoot rifles, so I don't know if you're being fair to yourself.
It literally does rain every single time we shoot rifles.
Right. I warned you of that when you invited me, and it held true. So
yeah. Oh, Jesus. Turn your phone off now. Frank's trying to F with you.
My phone?
Yeah, it says, let's see if Justin's phone's off. ... LOL. Hello, Derek Watkins in the house. Zach Cox, D. Brady. Got a lively one stirring up here. So, man, what do you think? You got to help AI your is that your first rifle class you've ever AI'd?
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed.
So coming off a weekend of playing the Batman to my Robin, what do you think?
It was a good class. We had a number of dedicated, engaged students. The student body was broad. From very
had a great body.
What's that?
That one broad had a great body. The student body.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah, we had we had Marco, who was brand new, barely old enough that he was barely out of diapers, getting himself up there and working on his skill set all the way up through. We had some of our other guys there, Steve, and some other people up there that are pretty skilled with the rifles. So pretty broad skill set, and they all worked really hard, and everybody made strides to better themselves. It was a good weekend.
No, it really was. The the whole thing, like when I say it rained, it rained during rifle class. It was 48 degrees and coming down. Like it got cold there for a couple spells.
Yep.
And then it would do that thing where it was like, oh, I'm just kidding. Jesus loves you. It's gonna get sunny. It's gonna get nice. Fuck you. Like time after time after time. Every single time. To the point where, like, if the students aren't demoralized, the teachers certainly are. And
Yeah.
you're like trying so hard to be like, yeah, this is great. This is awesome. And then like you go out and staple up targets and you make these like really intricate hostage shot headshots with B8s on them. And, the fucking B8 target just goes whoop, down. Like
just, every single time we tried our hardest to make the targets last the longest, it's like just a total downpour. Staples bouncing out of the cardboard because it's so wet. It was real pain in the butt.
Yeah, it's and we don't use it like cheap shit. We're using like good old fashioned thick IDPA competition targets as backers.
Yep.
Still, just a freaking soggy mess. But I will say this: guys got to see what happens to their equipment in less than favorable conditions. It was interesting how, like, just for me, some of the takeaways were there were some moments where the dudes with red dots did better than the dudes with LVPOs because the LVPOs were just either fogged full, like not the good ones, hashtag primary arms, greenmountaindefense.com/affiliate-links. You can buy the primary arm scopes. Got one. But no, seriously, like, there was definitely some, oh shit, my optic is a water bowl, or oh shit, my my optic is fogged, or oh shit, I'm looking at. That even happened to me at one point. I was like, oh, I have 4 reticles. I wonder which one I should use. The dudes with red dots were just like, well, I don't know. I put the red thing up there and press the thing, and it works. So
yep,
it's kind of interesting. Yeah, Frank, I've tried the trash bag thing, but this was just. Then you put too much shit on these targets, and then they blow over because it was also. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm gonna build an indoor range all to my own. It's gonna be a 400-yard indoor range. I'm gonna call it Kent's Place, and you can't come unless you're my friend. You're all my friends, so you can all come, but that's what I'm gonna do. 400-yard indoor range.
You're not gonna make me just follow you around with an umbrella.
Look for that in 2040, maybe. Yeah, just follow me with an umbrella. So that's that was a thing that happened. How many pieces of gear did we have break?
Yeah, we had a few, didn't we? Number of different optics. What else? Didn't we have some charging handle issues?
We had charging handle. We had bolt carrier group.
We had some sling problems.
Sling trouble. Optic.
Yep.
Yep. You know who you are, and I love you, and you might see this, and that's all okay. But one dude rolled into rifle class with optic in box, mount in other box, and mount an optic in hand, and was like, And I was like, come on, bro. We're in the middle of freaking, like, what? Oh, shit just got real. Cam Hayes is here, and I'm talking about rifles. Hi, Cam. Cam, you'll be happy to know that during class, we used Mike Lewis's Canebrake Consulting Zero offset tool to do some knowledge in. So that was pretty neat. Talked about the differences in zeros and all that. But yeah, good old-fashioned American rifle class. People done learnt. People done shot some stuff. Things went well. So that was really cool. What else happened at rifle class? Justin beat me at my own drill.
Yay. Go Justin. Woo.
hey, man, we shot Consequences with the rifle. More difficult distance, same difficulty in common sense and calming your nerves and fatigue management and all that stuff. You did a great job. You shot a what? What was your score? What was your score?
399. Excuse me, 399 out of 400. I dropped one stinking point.
Yeah. I was 395 out of 400. So I was a 98.75% on the drill. Justin was a 99.75. He's got me by 1% on my own drill. He did great.
I'm a 1%er.
His tar. Oh yeah.
Not at all.
But yeah,
Not
but
at all.
right, Consequences, but with a rifle. So, harder and whatnot. Easier in some ways, harder in others. But I won't ruin it for all the smart people. Oh my goodness. Let's see. What else do we have to discuss? What's been new in your world just generally? What are you doing?
Well, staying busy. Got a busy Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. On the weekends, I have this moonlighting gig I do where I, show people how to use guns, and that happens from time to time. So just kind of staying busy, being fairly distracted by all the different gun projects that I would love to put together, but can't quite seem to finish one before I jump on another one. I think a lot of us know what that's like. You start one thing and go halfway, and then jump to another one and go halfway. And before you know it, you have 5 or 6 different projects semi-completed. Really need to start focusing on some stuff that we're going to be working on coming up here in the near future. So I need to start focusing here, working some gear out, getting ready for our local 2-gun this coming weekend.
Oh, so, daddy.
Need to make some changes to some gear that I plan to run on that, and hopefully do some testing to ensure that I can get through the day without any malfunctions.
Oh, daddy, it's going to be pretty cool. That's gonna be a fun match. What's nice about that match? I'm not changing a fucking thing. I feel very good about all my stuff.
Yeah, I could, but I'm interested in tweaking a few things, which was probably not a good idea. But who knows? I might. Well, I was going to try my suppressor out, but we learned this weekend that the timer won't pick it up. So I don't know. We'll see.
Dude, you have the quietest 5.56 rifle on the planet.
I don't have much experience, so I was pretty surprised to hear you say that.
You have the quietest 5.56 rifle. Do you have a Will?
I have a Kent.
Perfect. You
Okay.
should will me that.
Okay. All right.
And then maybe don't try to start your car in the mornings because you're going to die. I'm taking that fucking thing. That was incredible, dude. I'm buying one.
Okay.
Like, I started the process. Like, you were like, no, let's look at it. You can test this. You can that's not how that works.
Okay. Well, I just figured, you being wrong-handed, it might be a concern with all that gas you're going to be chewing on if it's exceptionally gassy.
Dude, if it's that quiet, you can throw a rock at my face. Every shot. I don't care.
Okay.
What is that? The Silencer Co.
Omega 300.
God damn, was that quiet. And it was on a 10-inch gun, and he was shooting Tula.
Yes, which I guess is a big deal. I'm new to suppressors, but you seem to be pretty impressed, as was everybody else. So
Tula is Jesus. Guys up there shooting Tula, which normally sounds like this out of a suppressor. Tula normally goes, Niet. It's Russian, you see. But I'm tisk. Anyway, usually a problem. Oh, yeah, 12-inch Grendel in the house. Cam's got a good idea. I really like that idea.
Yes.
So let's see. Let's talk about charity. You want to talk about charity?
Sure.
All right, cool. So here's something we're doing. That's a thing that's happening. Green Mountain Defense and the Sling'N podcast, along with Horse Group / The Old Gray Man on YouTube's TC Fuller, have come up with a little scheme to donate some serious money to charity. Serious money to charity. So here's the deal. We're looking to donate to the American Cancer Society because cancer sucks. Parents shouldn't lose children. Spouses shouldn't lose each other. All that stuff. And the old gray man / Mr. Horse Group himself, TC Fuller, has volunteered to provide pictures of himself in a thong.
Ooh.
To be posted. You like that a little too much, Justin.
Ooh.
To be posted, on the interwebs, on the socials, on the Insta Faces and the Bookgrams and the Snapchats and the U-Books. That's right. Pictures of TC in a thong. And I will tell you this much. We're not going to tell you what the number was that he wanted to hit, because I think personally we're going to blow it out of the water. So here's how we're going to be doing this. There's two numbers. There's one number that if we raise this much money, he puts up those pictures. There's another number that if we put up that much money, you never have to look at those pictures. This is kind of like like we're trying to kind of narrow you in. I'm not going to tell you guys what the numbers are, but I will say that there's 3 zeros involved in both of them. So we're talking thousands of dollars, not hundreds or tens. I'm looking for serious bucks. So, right. Jesus, thank you, TC. Not just any thong, a Green Mountain Defense logo thong. I don't know where we're going to fit that logo, but
I was just getting ready to ask you that.
We have hired top underwear engineers for this project, and I assure you, it's going to be amazing.
Engineers,
yes. So here's the deal, right? Thousands of dollars raised, and this is our charitable exercise from now until the end of the year. So from today until 1/1/22, if the COVIDs ain't got us all yet, that's the deal. All you have to do is send an email to kent@greenmountaindefense.com with a little screen grab of a donation dollar amount to the American Cancer Society. Not looking for your banking information, not looking for whatever, just, blur out the stuff. And I'm just looking for a running total dollar amount to ACS. At the end of the whole thing, we will tell you what the dollar amount was. And it will be posted along with pictures or no pictures of TC Fuller. So that's the deal. And we're going to start it off this evening with a generous donation from a firearms training company in central Pennsylvania that I own. I'm putting up a 2-hour private lesson. So I'm throwing down $200 right to the start. The first person that shows me a $200 donation gets a 2-hour private lesson to boot. So somebody jump in. Let's get this started. TJ and I should be a charity ourselves sometimes running this podcast. But instead, we continuously are in a position with our families and our lives and everything else. Instead of asking y'all for money, we're asking y'all to help charities. So let's do this. Let's kick the shit out of cancer. And, because let's be honest, everybody here's a solid, hardcore alpha male dude. If we could actually just shoot cancer out of existence, we all would do it. Or fight cancer, or jujitsu cancer, or drive cancer out of existence, we would do it. So I don't know, dude. Just don't buy your 6-pack or whatever this week, and hit us up. Let us know. Matt Bilby's adding to the stakes.
Oh no,
Justin. I mean, I won't speak for you, but Matt, the answer is $20,000 donated to American Cancer Society. And I'll throw in Justin in a thong.
I don't know if they've made a thong that can contain all of this.
Here's the thing with that, Matt. I already have pictures of Justin in a thong. I just have to add the Green Mountain Defense logo. And
you said you were never going to tell anyone about those.
No, it's seriously. Big shout out to the old gray man on YouTube's. Big shout out to the Horse Group. TC's doing some good things over there. Very smart guy. Long-term knowledge of all things that we care about. So go on over to the old gray man, give him a sub, say thank you to him for his his silly shenanigans support. Like, I'm not sure if when he was agreeing to all this or joking around, or well, I don't know how much bourbon he was into or whatever, but he has not backed down. And he has, as a matter of fact, been texting me, be like, bro, we doing this? We doing this? We fucking do it. Like, he's into it. So, yeah, American Cancer Society, Green Mountain Defense putting up the first $200. Whoever hits me first with a $200 donation gets a free private lesson. And there'll be information on greenmountaindefense.com. www.greenmountaindefense.com/fuckcancer. We'll be live with a running total and all that good stuff coming up here within the coming week. So let's do it. Thank you, TC. Thank you, Dan Brady, and thank you, Horse Group. This is gonna be a fun little shenanigan. The stuff of nightmares. Everybody's in that chat just talking shit. I love it. So that's what we got there. What do you think, Justin? Do you know anybody who's affected by cancer?
I do.
Right? I think we all do.
Yeah.
I think we all do. So fuck this. We're gonna
fuck cancer. I was fortunate. My mother had cancer a little over 2 decades ago now. She was able to win her battle, and we're fortunate that it has not returned. But it was a very, very scary time. So
So that'll be greenmountaindefense.com/fuckcancer with a rolling total and some information, some links to his page and all that. I'll update it just when I get hooked up. But whoever donates, again, Kent@greenmountaindefense.com is where you send the email information with your donations, and we'll keep a running tally. And we're being intentionally vague about the total dollar amount to be raised, about the goal, because knowing some of the people on this, just on this panel here tonight, like in the chat and stuff, the original number that TC said was much too low, and quite frankly is going to be like eclipsed within a couple days. So I'm thinking big on this one. I'd like to see a real sizable dollar amount, and tell the American Cancer Society that the Sling'N Lead podcast sent you with your donation, not because we want credit, but because we would love for some charitable organizations to see that gun people give a shit too.
Here.
So, I don't even care if you say because we're gun people or because shooting, or like just something to do with like, hey, this came from a place that maybe you wouldn't think it came from. So that would mean a lot to me. So cool. And of course, as you'd expect, we've got folks in the chat right now sharing personal stories about cancer and about all that stuff. So right now, COVID is dominating the news, and the new C word that we're all afraid of kills less people than the flu and an ant bite. Meanwhile, cancer is still a thing. So, hey man, we're just trying to raise awareness, push it back up into the headlines. 2A hates cancer too. Fuck yeah, Don McKellar. Absolutely. 2A hates cancer too. I love that. That's a great way to put it. Disassociate from us. Whatever. Just 2A hates cancer too sounds fantastic. But we'll get the page tracker up now that we've announced it. And somebody jump in on that free private, and I'll make Justin teach it. Anyway, let's see. What else do we have to discuss tonight? Let's talk for a minute about. Do you want to do happy? I guess we're kind of both happy, but do you want to talk like great outcome, could have been better outcome? Do you want to do the one that could have been better? Or do you want to do the one that was great first?
Let's start with the positive.
All right, so we'll start on a high note, and high note in that things could have been worse, and they were not because of an armed citizen. Not high note in that there was a shooting or a terrible tragedy or somebody being an asshole in the first place, because we don't consider those to be high notes. But Park City Center Mall in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, 40 minutes that way. There was a shooting in that mall. Couple what's that Will Smith song? A couple kids in my neighborhood was up to no good or whatever. We're doing stupid things in a mall. Shooting occurred. a shooter was continuing to be a shooter, and then another shooter stopped that shooter from being a shooter. And regular people with handguns can do phenomenal things. And I was hammering on the Green Mountain Defense alumni list, looking for people in Lancaster County, going, "Please be one of mine. Please be one of mine. Please be." The truth is, we still have no idea who the hell it was. It was, a regular citizen jumped in and acted. So
good thing they were there.
Be pretty neat if that individual was involved in training or something like that, or had previous experience in the training community, all that kind of stuff. For all we know, it was Freddie the Flood with his Taurus Judge. We know so very little, but we know that Homeboy got involved and stopped the shooting in a mall. So pretty neat, right? Did you hear about this?
I have not actually heard much detail. I think I heard you mention it in passing, but I was very curious to learn more. So all we know is that it was just average citizen so far.
Yep.
Okay. Well, thank God they were there, right?
Yeah, Lancaster mall shooting. We won't play the audio. 16-year-old is facing 61 charges in connection with a shooting inside a mall in Lancaster. Police have charged asshole's name who won't be named. 2 counts of criminal attempted homicide, 3 counts of aggravated assault, 52 counts of recklessly endangering another person. Person's not to possess a firearm. That means he was a felon. Possession of firearm by a minor, carrying firearms without a license, and receiving stolen property. Incident began with a fight between asshole and another human just before 2:30 p.m. One of the men pulled away from the fight. The individual fired 2 shots using a stolen gun. A second gunshot was also fired. A bystander, armed with their own legally possessed handgun, heard the gunshots, moved in the direction of the fight, and fired their weapon, hitting the suspect, police said. The fight ended, and the bystander waited for police to arrive. 2 of the other males who were involved in the fight also suffered gunshot wounds. A female who was walking through the mall with her family was struck in the arm when the first shots were fired. All the injuries are considered non-life threatening. Authorities have claimed the bystander shall not be named and will not face charges.
Okay.
Fuck yeah, Lancaster. There are places in Pennsylvania where freedom still is a thing. So, Fuck yeah, absolutely. Now, that's the hell yeah, we did the thing, 2A, woot, all that. The other end of that is somewhere in Lancaster County, there's a man, yours or my age or more greater, who has to live with the fact that his life circumstances put him in a place to have to shoot a 16-year-old child. God damn.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's a rough go. Our guy, obviously, I don't know that it's a guy. It could be a girl. I've read to you exactly what is known. The bystander. It did say his fired his weapon, so they do gender the individual, but we know nothing else, no other qualifying characteristics or whatever about this individual. But whoever you are, I'd love to interview you on the show if you ever freaking happen to hear this. But it was pretty neat. Good on them for doing the work. Good on them for not hurting anybody else. There's a lot to be read into context that's not there. Like the bystander fired multiple shots, hitting the suspect and others or something like that. Like,
right.
Properly PID'd, and now that person's not a active threat anymore. So that's good work. You ever been to the Park City Mall in Lancaster?
I can't say that I have.
It's kind of not that I'm a super mall guy, but I do buy Apple stuff a good bit. And Park City is the closest Apple store to me that's not in Maryland.
Okay. Yeah.
So I go to the Park City when I need an Apple store. And also Park City is like the big cool people mall between here and Philly. Like, if
Okay.
you don't want to go to King of Prussia, but you want to go to like a mall that doesn't suck, Park City's probably it around here.
Okay.
Most of the other like Harrisburg and Camp Hill and Capital City and all those are, pretty kind of goofy malls. Oh yeah, Don, look at that. See, Don knows what's up. UFC gym in the mall. I didn't know that.
Well, now I want to go check it out.
Right. I mean, it's the kind of a place like it's the kind of mall, when your wife, I mean, no one loves you, but if they did, Justin, like
If they did.
So dudes, like your wife does the whole, like, I want to go shopping for the day. Let's go to the mall. And you're like, I'd rather, is there a chipper shredder I could put my nutsack into? Like, I'd much rather do that. I would tell you that if Sophie hit me up and was like, no, I want to go to the Park City Mall, I'd be like, Apple Store, Buffalo Wild Wings, a couple outdoor places. Like there's some, it's like, I could, that wouldn't entirely suck. I mean, so it's the kind of place, I guess where I'm going with this, I don't often envision myself in a mall, but I could actually see myself being in this one for a period of time.
Is this like a multi-floored structure, or is it like are there multiple layers to the mall?
Not multiple floors, but there's surrounding department stores.
Okay.
On the exterior. Like there's a big old Best Buy and there's all this like surrounding department stores. And then my memory of the layout is basically that there's a big circular like epicenter in the middle of it. And then there's a bunch of wings like moving on the way in. You know what I mean?
So this incident, if I remember what you read, it was in the parking lot, not in the actual mall structure itself.
Did not say that.
Oh, okay.
Did not say that. It said in the mall.
Okay, in the mall. All right.
It didn't, it didn't say out in front of Dave and Buster's or fucking like, it didn't give a more specific than that. But yeah, like certainly the kind of thing that could happen to any of us, right?
Indeed.
Our guy did the thing. He did a good job, and obviously we waited for law enforcement. What do you think about having done that and then hanging out in the mall and waiting for the cops to show up?
I think that would be stressful period of time after already having to have made that decision, and then waiting for the next step. I think that if I had to think my way through that, that would be not the most secure feeling in the world. Not knowing what was going to happen next. If they're going to come help you out, or if you're going to be the bad guy when they get there. So
yeah, it's certainly a yeah. Going to Home Depot, man. Look at a few color swatches. Nice, TC. TC's like they already talked about my nutsack on air. I'm out. I don't need this. No, but I mean, honestly, that's quite the conversation to have with yourself. Like, oh my God, I shot this teenage ne'er-do-well, and now I'm chilling up in here in this mall. Like, do I, what do I do? Do I come out of my gun? Do I go to a ready position? Do I holster my gun? Do I, continuously do the Jaeger dance and spin in circles looking for new threats? Do I fall over?
I can't imagine feeling safe
in
the intervening time period between when your decision was made and when you perceive help to have arrived.
Do I don't know, maybe take the gun to high ready, move to a hardline structure like a wall, compress the gun back into my chest, eliminate 180 degrees of variables because I found I don't know, just giving away content and curriculum here. All I'm saying is like, hey man, I'm just picturing and I'm not making light of the gentleman's situation, but I'm picturing this poor fucker having had to do this in the middle of the circular structure, like where it could have gotten no worse, right? And there's 5 points of egress, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and a whole 360 structure, so people could be coming at you from literally, any which way. He just went to guns. The whole mall is clearly in disarray and chaos. People are running, people are fleeing, people are hiding. You know, boy, did cops come. Like, the video of this is like dudes in full battle rattle with ATF on their vests standing outside and like, SWAT teams and, so clearly all kinds of law enforcement showed up to this. And here's our one guy just, there he is. It had to be a couple tense moments. Whoever the first responding law enforcement guys were and gals were that, rolled up into that, the gun or whatever. Maybe you had it in a holster or whatever.
Yeah. One would hope that the gun has been put away at that point in time and communication had been, I would assume, hopefully been started with 911 to attempt to do your best to prepare law enforcement for what they were going to find so they didn't panic when they got there.
Right. Or maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a swarm of teenage idiots who were still pissed off. Yeah. You just don't know. So good on them. Our person obviously, went out and put in some serious work, and I would venture to argue that because of their intervention, additional damage was not done. Yep. So, because it's not as though he like searched out the shooter and shot him just to shoot him. Like, it's clear that the shooting was still ongoing. Like, rounds were still leaving the other guy's gun or had just left the other guy's gun. Yeah. So it's an interesting little situation, but obviously somebody did a great job of handling it. So good on them. So there's a good one. And I'm going to read you this from Apache Solutions Firearms Training. Let's see, pull this up here real quick. Do. Music and stuff. Noises. Here we go. So this is from Apache Solutions Firearms Training. Tim Kelly wrote this. So, and this is in a group text. He also made a post about it. I'm going to redact some information so that I don't give away personal detail or whatever. So one of our students has a 20-year-old daughter that was just robbed in the parking lot. Listen to this. Dude corners her in the V while she was getting out of her car, not allowing her to move. Very commonplace to get trapped, so we've learned. But then he demands her cell phone. Uses her cell phone for approximately 10 minutes while keeping her cornered. She stood still, terrified, had no idea what to do. Then he breaks her phone, hands it back to her, and leaves. She finds out later that evening he accessed her Venmo account and rolled over $1,000 from her checking account into his.
Ouch.
Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
So, hey, Doc's here. Hi, Doc. Yeah. So, that's all you're going to get as far as info. Like, one of Apache's students has a daughter, 20 years old, was robbed in a parking lot. So guy posts up on her and pushes her into the V. Just for clarity and context, when we talk about the V, we're talking about the space between the door of the vehicle and the body of the frame of the car that creates a little V when you go to get out and step out. So if you take a class such as Armed Vehicle Defense from Vigor Training, you'll find out that that's a very common place to aggress somebody and put your hands on them in proximity to a vehicle, because that person's only choice is to retreat back into the vehicle, which further limits their movements. unless you took the class, in which case your secondary choice is to fight like a motherfucker, push out of the V, shoot some people, and kick them in the face. Our female in this instance did not do that, and no, we're not victim blaming. 20-year-old female, outsized by double by scumbag, unknown as to presence of weapons, unknown as to verbalizations. We don't know what he said to her. All we know is, he took her phone. I'm sure he didn't say, "Excuse me, miss, can I please borrow your telecommunications device?" I'm sure it was more like, "Give me your fucking phone." Whatever. But point being, of all the property crimes and all the motivations, here we have this person who, someone in the realm of the quote unquote dumb criminal, takes her device, takes from her, and then proceeds to beat boop himself money to an obviously traceable
yeah.
It's not rocket surgery. Now we don't know, what account, and if it was a clearing account or if it was a somebody else's account that he had also stolen and had access to. So much less not to know. But here you go. You're, give me your effing phone. First of all, the minute she's trapped, her primary options would have been, get in car, skinny pedal on the right kind of deal. We don't know. Again, we can only speculate. Maybe that wasn't an option to her. Maybe the car was somehow disabled. Maybe he had taken her purse, car keys, the whole shebang. So much we don't know. But the next most frightening thing in that encounter is he then immediately separates her from her means of communication.
Yeah.
So now she's not only in a situation with a dangerous individual, but, everybody's plan is what? 911. The folks who tell us that they'll just, I don't need a gun, I'll just call the police. Well, the first thing this fucking dude did was took her phone.
Yeah.
And then he proceeds to Venmo himself money, of all weird things, and then break the damn phone. So luckily for us, that's where this one ends. There's no, not that that's not traumatic enough, but there's no additional, she didn't get taken to a secondary location. She didn't get assaulted in any way that you could imagine she might have. She wasn't permanently injured, I don't believe, or anything like that. Physically, I'm sure. I mean, mentally, that's a whole another bag of potatoes. But, Justin, let me ask you, how often do you go to relatively public places?
Every day, multiple times a day.
Right. And most people in your surroundings are doing what?
Oh, what are we? We're absorbed in our own little, 5 foot by 5 foot box most of the time, right? We're looking straight down at what's in our hands, or we're looking, whatever, at the gas pump right in front of us, and we're staring right at the hole in the side of the car where the gas pump goes. No one's paying attention to what's going on around them at the fuel stations, or how many times have we stood in a convenience store and we're staring at what we want to buy and we have no idea who's standing around us and what they're doing. So I just feel like it's so easy to get sucked in. And anybody who's ever found themselves standing in public, just people watching, it's startling how many people are just glued into the screen of that phone, and they have no concept of what's happening 6 inches from their head.
Yeah, just entirely unaware. And, again, we're not victim blaming. I have no idea if that's the case for this young lady or what. But certainly, man, a little forewarning, a little forethought and knowledge about what was coming maybe could have been seriously helpful here. A little bit of an understanding of why people make the actions and movements that they do. And, obviously she was either in the car getting out or out of the car on her way back into it.
Yeah.
Either way, I would imagine this individual didn't just materialize out of outer space. I'm sure he would have been visible following her or making an intersecting movement with her.
That's always a uncomfortable feeling when you're walking to your vehicle in a parking lot and somebody happens to be walking in roughly parallel path or in close proximity, and it's very possible, how many times they're the exact car next to you and they open their trunk and they start loading in their groceries. But it's always a sketchy few moments as you try to determine what the heck's going on. Why is this person following me so closely? So
yeah, and then you do the thing that like breaks the matrix that nobody expects you to do. Is you just immediately break course or change positions or do a 180 and pretend you forgot something, or you go to a primary defensive tool, you put your hand on a white light, you give somebody eye contact. Anything that's not the typical fucking drone facing phone response, and you're the weird person.
The
many times in that nonverbal social interaction, what ends up happening, at least to me, is people look at me like, what's the matter with him? Fine, dude. I'll be that person. It's like you can wonder what's the matter with me while you go to your car and you're totally fine, and that's fine. I'm okay with being that person if it means that, the few times in 1,000 that I am right, that might change the interaction. It just happened to me again tonight, and I keep making this comment every time we go to vote. Every effing time. November 2, election day here in PA, voting for like constables and judges and da-da-da-da-da. And this is a good thing, I will say, is that there's still a line at the polling places. It's good. That means people are out and voting and doing their thing. The bad thing is, it's like, come on, dudes. How are we voting for the Fifth Circuit judge of dog election grooming? And you fuckers are like still so incompetent that it can't be just like a super hardcore quick process. We're always in line to vote, it seems. And there's a line of people, north, south, all, first of all, COVID ain't a thing at elections anymore.
That's crazy.
Fucking licking each other. A quarter inch from each other, it seems. Just staggered, standing in this vertical line. And I'm the weirdo because I take a wide step out, put my back perpendicular to the line instead of parallel with it, and watch the entire line of people in the parking lot. And I'm standing there with my hands clasped in the fig leaf down inside the little innards of my jacket, striking up a conversation with the person next to me. I did smell good, Don. That's exactly correct. I do often smell good. But yeah. But I'm the guy. Like, everybody's looking at me like, what the fuck's the matter with him? And it's like, well, 8 seconds ago, every one of you, if there was, I don't know how many people were in that line tonight when I went. Not like it was for the presidential election, but still, there's like 40, 50 people in this fucking line. 40, 50 phones, 40, 50, right here. People's kids are with them, and the damn kids are like, playing with the muffler of the cars and shit in the parking lot. Nobody knows what their kids are doing. Like, it's literally just like watching, lemmings.
Yeah, it's disturbing. Those moments when you realize you just, you're the only one paying attention, and everybody else just looks like zombies or drones. And it's startling. At least it startles me every time I realize I'm the only one that's paying attention.
It really is.
And I'm not perfect, like how often can you get distracted as well? And then it's like, I don't know, who knows? It's
it's certainly one of those things that can be a little bit frightening, a little bit concerning. So let's see what else. The intention, the reason this was actually named Thunderdome, is that we're gonna watch TJ's. We're gonna watch TJ's fight videos and he sent them to me. But I hate to be honest with you guys. I need TJ for this because I have absolutely no idea how to make them appear on this screen. Frank, if you're watching, please feel free to take over and put TJ's fight videos on the screen because you'll just beep boop in and do it. But
So is Thunderdome a intentional misspelling, or was this echolocation failure?
no, you'd have to ask TJ that one.
Okay, all right.
I don't know the answer to that question. Yeah, I have absolutely not a clue how to beep the boop and make those come up on the screen. So we're gonna have to do that another time. Let's see what else we got going on. Oh, we got to talk about. I'm sorry, I'm boring you.
No, it's fine.
Are you yawning on live fucking
No.
air right now?
Sorry.
Jesus Christ! You act like I made you teach a rifle class in the rain.
It's almost like I haven't had a full night's sleep since Friday when I came over to your place, and then Saturday when I was at your place and didn't have a full night's sleep, and then Sunday we hung out till entirely too early in the evening. And then last night you called me in the evening and talked to me until like 10 o'clock at night. And then today you were like, oh, by the way, you're going to stay up really late on the podcast. So it's almost like I've been supporting a friend for the last 4 or 5 days in a row, and it's been impacting my sleep schedule. Yeah.
You think so?
Almost. Similar. Yes. Similar.
You see, the problem is like you won't acknowledge the fact that we had a very loving caress when you stayed here.
Yes. Was that what that was last night?
Yes.
Or the other night, whatever night.
You remember how many nights in a row you slept?
I can't remember. It's all blur. It's just a giant blur of support and caress.
Of amazing. That's what it is.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. We have some cool stuff coming up to announce, so we'll announce that. Let's see. We have.
It was definitely Kent, Don. He was the little spoon.
Mm-hmm. First things first, coming up on December the 12th, 2021, here in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, at the West Shore Sportsmen's Association. Green Mountain Defense will be running trauma medical fundamentals, taught by Tessa, who's a real deal medic and teaches medicine and all that kind of stuff. I'll be running right seat to her, so I'll be the Justin to her Kent for that weekend, and that'll be a good time. 12/12/21. I guess not. I shouldn't say weekend. It's a day long class. GreenMountainDefense.com/training is where you can find that class. It is not full, but it is filling, so y'all should jump in. We've got Handgun Fundamentals in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, February 27th of 2022. So if you've got family or friends who need the basics refined and need some serious help with the new pistol purchase or the pistol they've had for 5 years and nobody ever helped them with, Handgun Fundamentals, Lewisburg, PA, 22722. Again, GreenMountainDefense.com/training. Yeah, Don, come to med class. If you already signed up, I'm sorry. Talk a little more about the med class if you could. All right, I can do that. Do you carry a gun? Do you participate in outdoor activities? Do you drive a car? Does your husband have a chainsaw? If you answered yes to any of these questions, it's imperative that you have the equipment and the knowledge to manage severe bleeding and other types of medical emergencies. Your primary instructor will be Tessa W. She has a military background with experience in TC3 as well as teaching combat medicine. Topics covered will include BLS, basic life-saving/choking, bleeding control, airway management, breathing/chest trauma, shock/hypothermia, burns, splints, head or eye injuries, environmental, snake poison, and ticks. If your family owns emergency medical equipment or med kits, we would highly encourage you to bring it in order for us to evaluate your choices. You'll also have the option of ordering kits from us on site. Please bring personal comfort items, including lunch, note-taking material, and drinks. Class will be held in the classroom, West Shore Sportsmen's Association, 562 Ridge Road, Lewisburg, PA, 17339. So that's what it actually says on the web. Don could have just gone and read that. It occurred to me halfway through me reading it to him. Here's the deal. This is a one-day POI based on giving you a better than introductory level to the things that are most likely to kill you in the event of severe trauma in your life. This is a class about the topics covered that we just talked about. There is less of a connotation in this class to gunfight medicine, tactical medicine, duty-based medicine, and more of a like, hey man, are you a parent? James choked last night on his own vomit. James was way overserved on milk and macaroni and cheese and everything else. Dude, what did I do? I robotically cleared my kid's airway because I know how to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Do you? And honestly, like if you're listening and your kid chokes on his own vomit, do you know how to work on that? I'll tell you this: he didn't like his daddy for a couple minutes, but that motherfucker's still breathing. I mean, how do you approach that? How do you approach severe bleeding? We can make it about gunshots and fights and malls and all that. About a month ago, I was in the backyard with my cousin cutting firewood, and a blade came ripping off a chainsaw. Didn't hit anybody, but the son of a bitch, a couple inches in either direction could have hit my leg. How do you deal with severe bleeding? Young's here. What's up, Young? Yeah. How do you deal with severe bleeding? How do you manage an airway? What about after effects, shock trauma, hypothermia? A lot of us do things with our lives that involve more than just like being at home or on the couch. People go hunting and fishing and hiking and skiing and biking and rock climbing and canoeing and all this shit. Do you bring med gear to that? Do you know what to do with it? Does your family know what to do with it? This is the kind of class, I promise, trauma med fundamentals. This is the kind of class, Don, knowing your family a little bit, you could bring your family to, bud. I promise it's not going to be about like, shooting MFers in the face or nothing like that. Like it's a like, hey, you all need to know how to do these things. Nobody's going to leave here with a certification in anything. Nobody's going to leave with a freaking BS or MBA in medical. Nobody's going to be a doctor, a nurse, or a medic after this class. Maybe it'll light a fire for you. Just in the way that handgun fundamentals has lit a fire for so many other students and had them progress and further their choices with the handgun stuff. Maybe the med class will light your fire. So this is, I would humbly say that this is, I don't know, several notches above your average stop the bleed class. And that's what it needs to be at this level. So it's an imperative thing. I think that, if you've got $200 and you can afford to come to the thing, you'd be well served to do so. And, again, I'm riding right seat on this. So I'm helping with PowerPoints and doing handouts and doing demos.
Can I make a
by me? Yeah, please, dude.
Don. I was a student in that class a little ways back, and having taken a couple different med classes, to Kent's earlier point, a lot of them focus on gunshot trauma, which there's value in that, obviously, especially related to what we're doing. But where this class really stood out to me was, in addition to that, touching on the deep penetration trauma. It really did walk you through a lot of the other, types of care that you would need to give somebody. I mean, go look at the website and look at the Kent burrito we made on the ground. It was awesome. He's got splints on. He's got, he's wrapped up just to keep warm and dry. I think there were some drag demonstrations, how to move bodies that were not able to locomote themselves. It was just a little bit deeper than many med classes I've been to in the past, and it focused in some areas that I feel have been breezed over before, which feels very empowering as the student. So, especially if you're bringing your family to it, you empower your family. So,
yeah, I think I'm not doing. You're right, dude, and I'm not doing a good enough job of highlighting like the. I have to be self-aware enough to understand that some of these classes that we put on, I would say, we know enough to tone ourselves to our audience. Like if you did bring a spouse or a child or something to personal defense rifle fundamentals, I would ratchet myself back, and I would have a conversation with the fellas and be like, "Hey, dudes, like, let's just say, hey, we got a 14-year-old girl here. Uh, we need to be very honest with her about what the subject matter is with the rifle. Like, we're talking about shooting bad people in the face with daddy's rifle." And I won't back away from that. If you want to bring a kid to that class, you understand that that's what you're bringing your kid to. That doesn't mean we can't dial back the MFers and the shoot them in the effing face and the some of the other stuff that might come out of men when we talk about these subjects. So we would certainly be polite and professional, but in some of the ways, like, we cannot change the content. You can't make rifle class in the home about anything other than shooting a person in the home. There's no way to avoid that. So you have to head on. Trauma medical fundamentals is literally the word trauma. It literally is like any kind of bodily harm or trauma. This class applies to your teenage daughter who fell doing throws for cheerleading, just as much as it applies to you and your potential gunfight and I don't know at the mall in the Park City Center. Like, there's a wide berth of this stuff. As far as like the exposure to the kids and stuff too, like obviously the active shooter stuff is a thing. We have to worry about kids in schools and kids in these other places that they go without us. We look at the Boston Marathon, we look at other things like, hey man, the Flight 93 memorial concert, all these different things we've seen. There's a propensity for younger people to be at these types of events. And God almighty, if they could just whip out some tourniquets and do some work, there'd be a lot more souls still in bodies. Like that's not a thing I'm willing to shy away from either. So that's a class we're passionate about putting on. It's a purposeful attempt by me to expand our company into a lane that we don't yet occupy. It's also a purposeful attempt by me to stay in my own lane and make sure I go get outside professional help to do stuff like this. I could deliver the content great, but that doesn't qualify me to do so. So we need to make sure we, when we can get a hold of Miss Tessa, we will do that. There won't be a ton of these, but when we can do them, we're going to do them. And hopefully they expand the audience for us a little bit. So, oh, cool. Look, Don Stein, I'm glad, dude. I hope we ain't steered you wrong yet. You're a solid dude and you got a great family there. So, further down the line of things that we've been able to expose you to that we hope you never need. That's all I could say about that. Let's see. Don's point was sound, though. We should probably go into the classes in further depth. So handgun fundamentals. Handgun fundamentals is essentially one-day handgun class for the person who, I'm going to use my phone as a demo here. Hold it up. The phone is shaking uncontrollably in my hand. Make the phone a pistol. This showed up. Pistol in box. I need some help with this gun. They're either afraid of it or my husband, my wife, my brother, my son, my daughter, my uncle, my cousin says I need this. Or, man, I was just out here, watching these other guys, and some of these people really handle guns real well, and maybe I should take some professional training. So handgun fundamentals is meant to be step one in the, hopefully long journey of handgun related training that you would take through a company like myself or through others. It's not round count intensive. We're talking 150 rounds of ammo total for handgun fundamentals. We're talking needing a pistol. Bring whatever other gear you have. If you have the holsters and the other stuff, bring it. But literally all you need is a pistol and the magazines it came with, a box, 150 rounds of ammo. We'll provide dummy rounds and the other things that you'll need to successfully complete the class. There's a good bit of legal and lecture theory stuff. I shouldn't call it legal. Really, what it is common sense lecture on firearms ownership. And I don't mean lecture like I mean there's a large classroom speaking portion. So it's not all shooting. It's half classroom work, half shooting work. With a working lunch in the middle. it's our feeder class into our business. I gotta be very honest with you guys, right? Like, till I'm done paying their range and paying the dudes. And I say dudes because I paid the both dudes. I have to have the Justin and the Hirsch and the Kent to do this successfully and safely. So there's 3 human beings to be paid. Sometimes not myself, depending on class size. People don't work for free. But like, hey man, it's lobster night. It's a loss leader. You know, if I break even or a little better, I'm thrilled. What I will say about handgun fundamentals in our organization is, listen, I got to tell you what, every time we do handgun fundamentals, out of the average of 12 people that come, 2 or 3 start taking private lessons.
Yeah.
We've yet to have one that we didn't retain some folks, and that's always real good. As a matter of fact, some of you here on this very show tonight that are commenting started with us in handgun fundamentals class. Yep. So that's always really cool. Let's see what Dan Brady has to say. So my immediate supervisor just said, I don't need to practice. I've been carrying a gun for over 35 years. I know what I'm doing. Change the word gun to penis, and many women on the planet would tell us, man, that we've been carrying it for 35 years, but we damn sure need practice. Yeah. Carrying versus using are 2 different things is my only point. But, you know, here you go. Here's Dan, right? You know, and I won't give Dan's life away or whatever, but Dan's in a place where gentlemen carry guns professional for realsies, for serious. And his immediate supervisor just said that. That should be scary to you. Then again, what should be extremely comforting to you is yeah, that's Dan for you. What should be extremely comforting though is that Dan's also there. And if anybody will fuck some shit up, it'll be Dan. So, you know, good news, bad news. At least this individual who feels as though he doesn't practice has no idea how much of his safety he's subcontracted to the individual Dan, who's working his ass off to be the best version of a human could be. And this other individual has no idea just how lucky he is to have that good of a coworker. And we all don't have that good of a coworker. I've got some very good coworkers, but in general, like people, and some colleagues and some friends, and you know, I know some people who really care about this. But how many guys, Dan, like, be able to tell you how many dudes that do what Dan does think the way his immediate supervisor thinks? Probably a high propensity of them, and that's a scary thought. Just a little bit of food for thought. Yeah. You know, funny enough, today I'll tell you right now. I was in a location where there was an armored car guy being delivery happening, and I walked into the office where the armored car transaction was taking place. Unbeknownst to me, my vehicle was parked in a different part of the facility. I walked one way, they walked the other way. I was going to see the person that the armored car person was going to see as well. I cornered around, walked into an office. I had a badge, not like a police badge, but like a credentials hanging from my, you know, my lapel, and a logo on my shirt, but nothing that was like overtly obvious as to this dude who I was. Right. Walked around the corner and I opened the door and I saw there's money and all this stuff's going on. And here's armored car guy. And I said, oh, hey man, listen, I'm up. You know, I was like, oh shit, I don't want this guy thinking I walked in here for a bad reason. I just walked in here to talk to the same person he's talking to. I didn't realize I was interrupting them in the middle of this. He goes, no, man, you're good. Come on in. And I'm like, oh, Christ. So I start having this conversation with Mr. Armored Car Guy. And I look at his XD in his Phobos-ish holster. And I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, man, how do you like that XD? And he goes, the what? I'm like, your XD. Huh? I'm like, you're going. He goes, oh, my Glock. I'm like, yep. Hey, I'm going to wait outside. And I'm just thinking, oh, my Jesus. You know, this dude just let me. His whole job is to keep me miles away from that cash if he can. Yeah. He just invited me in like we were going to smoke a cig together.
Yeah.
You know, paid no attention to who I was, never asked who I was. Turns out the person in the office that I went in to see wasn't there, and there was a whole new human in there that I'd never met before. That individual never challenged me, never like.
What kind of training do those type of individuals typically get? I've seen some wild setups strapped to their bodies in the past. I saw like a double gun Hollywood rig more than once. Like, it did not look like like something you would expect to see. It was more of like an intimidation factor, it looked like, and it just made me wonder really what those guys go through before they get that job.
Yeah, no. So in Pennsylvania, the ability to carry a firearm in a security capacity is Act 235. It's a thing. You can look it up. You can go get your Act 235. You got to be able to see. You got to be able to shoot. You got to pass a basic firearms handling thing. You can't be a felon. Some pretty rudimentary shit. And then once they get their Act 235, then they go to whatever organization they work for, like, Garda or Brinks or Cintas, or not Cintas, Securitas, excuse me, or one of them, and then they provide them whatever training they provide them. So, yeah, Steve, are they hiring? Steve, you make more money in a month than those dudes do in a year. Don't do that. Yeah, these guys, I don't know, man. And I'm watching this guy, and I'm like, I could have all this money. You could both be unmercilessly hurt, right? And you are entirely incompetent to handle this. And it's a sad deal. Anyway, I don't know how we got on security guards. So handgun fundamentals, come to that, please. Thank you. GreenMountainDefense.com/training. And finally, we can announce 2 more courses coming up. They are Defensive Pistol Metrics, our freaking big old flagship Rock'em Sock'em 2-day Ass Kicker 3000 Gun Hero Instant Ninjagram. Not really. Class. Defensive Pistol Metrics.
Yeah.
Where you will learn that no shoots have names, consequences are a real thing, and no one gives a shit about your dehydration problems.
Hey. What? Hey, Steve cares about my dehydration problems.
Everybody does. So we've got two offerings of that on the book so far. One here local, we're doing the traveling roadshow thing, but we're doing it for you local yokels. So some of you guys have been bitching. Why do you take the cool shit where I can't get to it? Okay, the cool shit's coming to you. Lewisberry, Pennsylvania, August 27, 28, 2022, right here, West Shore Sportsman. The best goddamn firearms class you can take that we put out. Like, I love this class. It's my new favorite thing. I'm super confident in it. I'll be happy to take it anywhere it needs taken as far as traveling with it or whatever. And speaking of traveling with it, we're also offering it at Apache Solutions, Jacksonville, North Carolina, October 8th and October 9th of 2022. So we've got one so far scheduled in PA, one so far scheduled in North Carolina. Look for about 3 or 4 more of those to be put on the schedule in other places coming soon. There's plenty more that we're working on in the realm of training and classes and hosting and all that stuff. It's just I don't put shit on the internet until we got signed documents and people have all 100% agreed on dates and stuff. Yeah, the yokels of Yokeltown. Nice, Don. That was good. But yeah, we're going to get our shoot on. Defensive Pistol Metrics is our flagship. Super rocking off, of course. I might change rifle class to Defensive Rifle Metrics and literally teach the exact same class with rifles in the future.
Yeah,
pretty much what we just did this past weekend. If you honestly think of it,
it's long Glocks with safeties is what it is.
Long Glocks with safeties. We're gonna call rifle class Long Glocks.
That's the new name. Long Glocks with safeties.
Job, Justin, you're hired or something. That's really fucking good. Actually, don't think I'm not using that for a half a second. Let's see what else. Advertising other people's training. Oh, Dan Brady, when's Jacksonville Defensive Pistol Metrics? It is October 8th and 9th, 2022. 10-8, 10-9, 2022. defensive pistol metrics at the Apache range. I'm about to put a link up in the Chizat. Oh, I said Chizat. Fucking God. I need TJ. You're supposed to make me an adult, Justin.
Nobody can make you an adult.
I know.
That's impossible. Not even Sophie. She's been trying hard.
I know. So, yeah, Dan missed out on the last one. He was doing important Dan Brady things, like I assume making sure his supervisor didn't shoot himself in the foot or God the fuck knows what. Yeah, any user. So there's that for sure. So yeah, let's see. I think that about covers it for the night. Is anybody? I am beep booping better than usual. Thank you, Don. When my spouse leaves and my mistress is here, I rise to the occasion sometimes.
Wait, am I the mistress?
You're the mistress.
Ooh. So we should.
It's my ginger hubby.
Okay. So I mean, are we okay with all these people watching?
Did you think you were the only one?
Should we take this privately or let them watch?
We'll just go. He'd have trouble hitting water if he on a boat. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, Dan. Thanks for bringing back the COVID cough. That was fucking fantastic. Oh, dude. So, Dan, you'll be happy to know that during rifle class this weekend on one of the rain breaks, when everybody was looking at me like, what the fuck are we still doing here? I busted out my phone and I read a thread from the group text of Apache, what I'm calling Apacheisms. Just like crazy redneck shit that you guys have said to me over the years. He'd have trouble hitting water if he fell out of a boat is now going in the phone. That's good. That's really good. Let's see. What else? Justin, you got anything else on training coming up or anything? Do you want people to like take private lessons or do you don't care?
I'm here. I'm here. We take all interested parties and attempt to make them better versions of themselves. And along the ways, maybe we'll all learn a little something, right?
Maybe we'll make friends.
Green Mountain Defense. It goes both ways.
Oh my God.
Man, let's train with us. Let's do this.
It
goes both ways.
The whole thing is like I pay you to do a very specific thing, which is basically do what I ask you. I give you money when you're done.
Yes.
And you do it well. Marketing may not be your specialty. Although I gotta say, long blocks with safeties is gonna be a new t-shirt. Oh, text TJ right now. Poor fucking Ginger can't get out of a show without having to do a t-shirt. TJ. Long Glocks with safeties.
I don't know about all that, Dan. I don't know about all that. I shot next to you. I saw what you can do. I don't know about all that.
What is Dan saying? Is Dan being self-deprecating?
He's being self-deprecating. He says if he could be half as good as Justin on a bad day, he'd be happy. But I've done shot next to that, man. I've seen what he can do.
I'll tell you right now. This is Green Mountain Defense, the bi girl of travel. Yes, Doc, you made it to the end of our podcast. We're almost done. We've almost done the ad reads and shit. Justin always goes both ways. Yes, this week's t-shirt, Green Mountain Defense, we go both ways. Now, this week's t-shirt is Green Mountain Defense, long Glocks with safeties. Fucking look at this. The is priceless. TJ's answer. Do what? T-shirt.
I like it.
And why are you answering me if you couldn't be on the podcast?
Yeah. Hey, what's up with that?
Yeah, what the hell? No,
what's going on?
He's at if you want to know the truth, he's at a social engagement I think he'd rather not be at, but work stuff. I'm
at a social engagement I'd rather not be at too. I know how he feels.
Fuck you. Oh, Doc wants a private lesson with Justin. Well, Doc, if you donate $200 to the American Cancer Society, we can make that happen.
Yeah, we can have lessons with privates.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So this is an interesting. Who's a better shooter, Dan Brady or Justin?
I don't know. I don't know if I feel comfortable betting on that. I don't know.
I don't either. Y'all motherfuckers both can shoot.
So it just kind of depends on who's having the strong day that day, right? I will say this: I did share a cockpit with Dan Brady last AVD that we were at together, and he got his out before I got mine out, and about concussed the hell out of me. It was damn Brady shooting is what that was.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
See, if you were Dan Brady, you would know that shooting from inside a car is the thing that you have to do sometimes. It's
Yeah.
you got to get it the fuck over with
Yeah.
real quick.
Yeah. He was like bang bang bang, and I was all like, what the F? Like I was not prepared for the concussion within that enclosed space. We had yet to have really shot the windshield up. It was pretty fresh.
I'm way better at being tall. So there's a joke in here that I'm trying to get to, which is essentially, I'm not sure how I could handicap this race. See, it's a joke because Justin's actually mildly handicapped. What with the palsy and all, he's got the leg that does the thing.
I don't know if it's mild. It might be. It might be firmly handicapped. I'm not sure.
Either way, Justin's got so like this is the great equalizer of the gun. Seriously, because Brady is a fucking like Adonis of a man. He's big, tall, seriously alpha, like big.
Yeah, he's hot. Yeah, he's hot.
Yeah, Dan's hot as fuck. Like,
yeah,
let's
he's hot as fuck.
Real with it. Let's I'm emotionally handicapped. Yeah, he's absolutely emotionally handicapped. No question there. But here's this dude who's, if you just stood Dan and Justin like in basketball shorts in the backyard, Justin is hooked. Like it's just gonna like beat the snaggle out of him.
Yeah. I'm just gonna tuck into a ball and hope I survive it.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if you give them both guns, I'm telling you, if it's a stand and shoot, I don't like anybody's odds.
Mm-hmm.
If there's mobility involved,
I got to work on that.
It's gonna get fucking wild.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. It's just funny. I do this all the time when what actually is happening right now is you got two dudes being like, oh, he's the better shooter. Oh, he's the better shooter. It's like, nah, you're both really fucking good. So there is that.
Extra holes.
Yeah. Extra holes. No one wins.
Yeah. Dan says no one wins. We both get extra holes.
Right.
That's
Did you go up against Dan in force on force?
I do not believe we had any force on force against each other. Although I wouldn't really know because I was blind for every single rep, with the exception of the first one with Landon when he blew my trigger finger off my hand in the scenario. But yeah, every other scenario I was straight blind. I just remember the stinging feeling of Zach caressing me lovingly with entire magazines full of marker rounds that he was not supposed to have. Somehow he had. I'm not sure how that happened.
I have no idea how Zach got extra ammo.
Who knows? That was one of life's great mysteries.
Steal my magazines. That's what you get, motherfucker. I'll stack them some bitches full. You should have seen the look on Zach's face when I handed him 2 full mags. He was like, I get to play.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, that was legit. Let's be honest. Tim Kelly is the best shooter. I don't know about that. I don't know about Tim Kelly being the best shooter. He's damn sure the best looking shooter by a wide margin. He may even be the best teacher by a wide margin. He might also be the best shooter too, but fuck him. I don't want to give it to him. He ain't getting no cherry. He ain't getting no cherry for me, Tim. That's what he always says. So I'll say it. It's cool. What? In all seriousness, we're blessed, dude. Like the group of people that we've been able to muster up and hang with. Everybody pushes. Like they're like all of these people. Just for you, for the podcast listener and for the student and for the people who are hearing this or who are involved in this. Dan, Justin, who else is on here? That's instructor level shooter guys that are killing it. Scott, Zach, I think Landon, I think Rodney was on here. Sam DeSimone was up in this chat. Cam Hayes was up in here. Freaking TC Fuller was up in here. Sean Fowler.
I miss Sean. I didn't see him commenting.
Yeah. There's 10 guys that have come and gone and said something in this chat or whatever who are like awesome sauce shooters.
Yep.
And then a bunch of students in here who are not instructor level people who have also become damn good, awesome sauce shooters.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a nice fraternity to start creating as you continue to build and continue to grow. It's like there's not a lot of bad left anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really just who's having the better day today, like
Yeah.
it's not that anybody's really any bad at all. It's just somebody's extra sharp, extra on that day. That's really all the difference is.
Yeah, for sure. Well, if you look honestly what Dan just posted, GMD, Apache, Horse Group, and Vigor. And you just look at those 4 companies and I'll add
Yep.
Gunset and I'll add, Evolution Training, and some others. But the point is like, just in those 4 he mentioned, you have a law enforcement dude who does a very good job at a very select group of classes that he teaches, who really puts out strong stuff for citizens and for cops. You have a beautiful mind doctor dude who has former federal law enforcement experience and a shitload of other law enforcement experience that he's willing to help and provide. You have an angry Marine and his band of Indian brethren who are willing to do all kinds of terrible, mildly illegal things for money, including teaching you how to shoot. And, God knows what else. I'm kidding. But I mean, look at the group that Tim has created around himself and the fraternity and the brotherhood of Apache and all the stuff that goes on at that place. Gunset, almost a mirror image of like what Apache's got going on. And you've got us, the group of unremarkable normal dudes who are really remarkable in a couple key places. You've shown tremendous growth. Hirsch has shown tremendous ability not to age or die. Hirsch isn't dead yet, so that's a plus. Like, we've brought in other people from the outside, like somebody like a Tessa. And
Yep.
I've shown my ability to grow as a shooter and a trainer and a teacher and a professional educator.
Yes.
And I've also shown my ability to shrink as a guy who's gonna real soon be able to spar with Dan Brady and not die for like a minute or 2 or 3. Maybe.
Yeah. So my journey with you and the associated individuals that you've just mentioned over just the last 2 years has been amazingly transformative, far and beyond improving a skill set with a tool. It's I've been ruminating on this for the last few days after this past weekend, and it's like, learning how to get better with your tools and improving your skill set is all fine and dandy and it's great, but it's the personal growth beyond that that really is what I value the most out of the last couple of years. My with this wild ride, from my perspective. Yeah, it's just you meet so many different people that are able to present to you so many different perspectives and points of view, and you're provided so many opportunities to reflect and grow on successes, failures, breaking through new boundaries, new ceilings. And I mean, sky's the limit if you're willing to put the effort in. It's good stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely, dude. It's one of those things that I think people experience this in all different walks of life and all different things that they care about. But when you care about your progression in your personal well-being and your own personal fitness journey and your own personal lethal skills journey and your own personal financial journey and when you get on this path of like, I'm going to be the best fucking me I can be, full stop. Like, I'm going to be the best version of me I can be. And you start encompassing all the things that takes. And you start getting around other people who also approach life the same way.
Yes.
Quality attracts quality. Genuine attracts genuine. Honesty attracts honesty. Skill attracts skill. And before you know it, fraternities, and I don't mean fraternity in the bad, like the bad context of like stupid little frat boys in their kegerator parties. I mean, literally a fraternity of strong men, and honestly, some strong women. We've met through this too.
Absolutely.
You have no problems whatsoever bettering themselves in any number of ways. It's really been a pleasure and an honor to be a part of that in so many other people's lives. And that clearly matters way more to us than,
Indeed.
anything else would. Oh, there we go, Dan. Empathy, honor, integrity. Hell yeah. All that stuff. I mean, the stuff like you get around these guys, and since tonight's announcement was primarily spurred on by Dan and TC, and the like, hey, let's raise some money for charity and shit. A guy like Dan has a PhD level mind. Like you get a guy like Dan who sits, you'd sit and have bourbon with Dan and talk about an expansion of topics that would just blow your mind. The stuff, if you told your friends, hey, I'm gonna go sit around a campfire at a gun range this weekend after training, what do you think we're gonna talk about?
Right.
Yeah. I promise you they wouldn't. The shit that they would list and the shit that actually gets discussed are so diametrically far apart. It couldn't even be described. You get this guy Dan, and then look at the quality of friendships that he, here's TC who's a no shit. I don't want to miscredential the guy. I think he's a PhD. He's a doctor of some sort. He's a published author in a book. He's a published author in magazine articles and other things, involved in law enforcement training forever. And, my God, go watch our podcast with TC from, I believe it was episode 75. I was just looking today. TC was on. The guy's intellect will blow your mind. His intellect is second to none, not to mention his hard skills.
Yeah.
I mean, the level of overall quality, integrity that is bred in the people that we've been around, I couldn't ask for anything better. That's the reason we're here.
Yep. Agreed.
That's neat. So, what else, man? You got anything else you got to get off your chest before I start saying thank you to people and reminding people what to do and what buttons to hit and all that?
Nope. I think I'm good.
You got nothing?
I mean, I got some chest hair, but I'm not really interested in getting that off my chest.
Like you're perpetually stirring a drink.
Do I?
Yeah, I don't know what that. Yeah,
it's probably. I mean, I had to get a new set of earbuds last minute, and they're. It's interesting. You can't easily find corded earbuds, it seems, anymore on the racks at Walmart. Like, all I could find was like a $10 set. Everything was Bluetooth, and my PC isn't set up for that. So sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's just funny. It's just every once in a while it sounds like I was like, damn, homie's stirring a cocktail for a change, and then I realized like I haven't watched you drink at all. So, oh shit! See, there he is. There's my man. What's in the red Solo cup?
Nothing now. I drank it all.
Oh, okay.
that was just theater for.
What was it?
For your point. It was water. Water. Yeah,
Bro,
we'll go with water.
Serious bachelor to be drinking water out of a red fucking Solo cup.
Man, I don't have a dishwasher.
Really appreciate you, brother. Thank you for your help on the charity thing.
Yeah, I don't have a dishwasher, so it's going to be a red Solo cup.
Oh my God.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't no one got time for such affairs. All right. Well, listen, we got through another show without TJ. It's hard. I hate it when he's not here. I miss him ever. So we'll watch his videos next week when he's here to put them on the screen because I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's on the screen right now. www.greenmountaindefense.com/affiliate-links. You buy gun stuff anyway. You might as well buy it through a source that supports us. Here's the deal. Whatever you click on there will be the same cost to you, but will give us a small percentage. Kudos with the manufacturers who help support us. Of primary importance in that list is Primary Arms. Thank you so much to our supporters at Primary Arms for all the things they do for us. and all the ways that honestly they help the 2A community and all that. Dude, I'm gonna tell you what. How about a review of this weekend with the Primary Arms Platinum Series ACSS 1-8 that they were gracious enough to send me out. I taught yet another rifle class with your optic, Primary Arms. I did yet another damn near perfect string of demos with your optic, Primary Arms. I shot little things very far away on oblique, effed up angles through hostages with your optic in the rain.
Yeah, they don't know this, but my primary red dot I purchased myself like in 2014.
Sheesh.
I don't even know how many thousands of rounds is on that thing, and it's still trucking. And talk about value added optic.
This thing, I mean, this is like their top tier LVPO, and it's legit. So something that happens just as part of this little ad read here, something that happens in training with rifles is often students do what's called decking the guns, which means I'd really prefer not to have a bunch of people with rifles behind me, in front of me, around me, to my left of me, to the right of me, in various conditions. So at the end of strings of fire and drills and different things, the rifles get decked. They literally get laid on the ground. We know what happens on the ground in the rain. It gets muddy and nasty and snasty and wasty. And these guns got poured on. My rifles are soaked.
Yep.
Like a long jag of cleaning, had to be accomplished, and re-oiling and working on this, working on that. Guys' guns are going down. I'm not trying to be a dick, but guys' guns went down left and right. We had a Galil entirely go down.
Yeah.
We had a bulk carrier group snap, and all the stuff that we alluded to before. And some of that for sure is weather related with that rain. You know what never happened? My freaking daylight bright ACSS reticle in the Primary Arms never flickered, let alone went out or anything. I only had one reticle problem where the optic was literally, like, let's be real, there's nothing much you're going to do about, like, when you shoulder your optic and a shot's worth of water comes falling out of your lens. Like, I'm not sure what a manufacturer can do about that, because I'm walking around with the rifle slung with the optic uncovered and the lens open. So clearly water's going to collect in there.
But it didn't fog up or get obscured.
Didn't fog or anything.
It was sealed properly. Yeah.
I shot one shot with a multiple reticles, and then recoil cleared all that out, and then there's my shit. So man, nothing but good things to say about that product. So Primary Arms is where you can get that. greenmountaindefense.com/affiliate-links. Click on the Primary Arms logo and go shop away. We have t-shirts. Check out the link in the description below on the YouTube. teespring.com/store/Sling'N podcast. Please check all that up. Subscribe to the individual channels of the host of the show. TJ is the Lead Sling'N Ginger. His link is down below. I am Green Mountain Defense. My link is down below. You can find us on all the socials at Green Mountain Defense and at Lead Sling'N Ginger. Let's see what else. Give love to Head Down Firearms. Shout out to them. At Head Down Firearms on Instagram. TJ's still loving the rifle that they sent him out. They never sent me a rifle. I don't love the rifle they sent me, but because I don't have one. I'm just fucking with you guys. www.headdownfirearms.com. Head Down Firearms on the Instas and the YouTubes and the Spaces and the Grams. And of course, if you're done trading with Apache Solutions and Gunset and Sam DeSimone and Evolution Training Solutions and Dan Brady and Scott Chedlinski and Tim Herron and all these others, and you want to train with us, www.greenmountaindefense.com/training for all the good stuff. If you book a private lesson, you can request Justin. Just say in the comments, I want Justin.
Yay.
Many people are saying they want Justin or they want Hirsch.
Right.
A few people are saying they still want me. I'm starting to take this personally.
Oh,
I really, really like it.
Actually, it's just yeah.
And that's about it. So until we see each other again, God bless you all. Love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Get out and shoot.
Bye.
Yeah, Justin said bye.
Bye.
Still ending broadcast.